Hey everybody, welcome back for another game break. So 2020 is in the rear view mirror. It's gone, it's over. 2021 is upon us. And 2020, while it was rough for a lot of people, there were a lot of good games. Like a lot of good games in it. And 2021 is, looking to be just as good a year as 2020 in terms of games, if not better. So I'm going to list my top 10 most anticipated games of 2021. Enjoy. Halo Infinite. Yes, I know Halo Infinite, when it was first shown to the world, looked a little rough around the edges. I understand that. But Halo is probably my most favorite first-person shooter franchise of all time. I love the original trilogy. I liked Reach. I liked ODST. I even liked Halo 4. And I like where they're trying to go in terms of the gameplay perspective with this series. They're trying to open up the map a bit more, to have a little bit more traversal going around, a little bit more open world, while at the same time going back to the more classic setting of the Halo rings. And I'm hopeful for this game because they delayed it. They knew that something was wrong based off the reaction when they showed it, and they probably knew before even they revealed the game that there was, and that just reinforced the idea. And I am incredibly hopeful that they will take full advantage of the excellent characters and the universe that they built, and remember the fun gameplay of the past, and use that as a framework for creating a brand new, amazing Halo experience. Guilty Gear Strive. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I've never played a single Guilty Gear game. Not a one. Not a button push. But after Arc System Works did such an excellent job with Dragon Ball FighterZ, it became a studio that, I've been keeping my eye on quite a bit and quite closely. They released the Granblue Versus title, which looked amazing. And they seem to be that studio that all the other studios go to, with their games. And like, oh, we need you to make a side game for us, a versus fighting game. Because they just do such an excellent job. And it's an excellent way to promote company's main game franchise. And what sold me on Guilty Gear Strive, aside from the fact it looks amazing and the combat looks really cool and the characters are really well designed, sometimes it just takes one cool looking character to get you fully invested in a game or to make you want to buy a game. And that character was Giovanna. I saw the reveal trailer for this character and I think she looks absolutely incredible. From a character design standpoint, like the red hair, costume, and then her accompanying dog. It almost looks like an emerald colored wolf essentially. And I just love how everything ties together with her artwork, from her hair to her skin tone, to her clothes, to her accompanying pet. It just worked for me on all levels, and it just made me realize, like, man, I need to play this game just so I can kick other people's butts with this cool character. Sometimes that's all it takes for a fighting game is just one cool character for you to get fully on board. And that's not to mention all the other reasons. An excellent studio known for excellent gameplay and excellent art design, and I'm extremely looking forward to having this be my first Guilty Gear experience. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. My first foray into the Ratchet & Clank series was actually the 2016 release. And it was a great time. It's one of those series that's like, I can't believe I didn't play all the other games that came before it, because it's right up my alley. I love platformers. I love cool weapons that have various effects. And I like the cartoon and graphical direction they go with this series. There's nothing not to like about Ratchet & Clank. It's a great platformer. They're super fun to pick up and play. You can upgrade your various weapons so they do even more damage, or they have even cooler effects when you fire them. And, it's got like, cool, somewhat linear like traversal of levels, but always things to look around and find. And they're just honestly a really enjoyable experience. And I definitely would recommend it for anyone who enjoys a good platforming experience. So Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, I'm looking forward to having a lot of fun with this game. Ys 9 Monstrum Nox. The more I play the Ys series, the more I fall in love with it. They seem to be getting better and better every game, which is a good thing, obviously, for any franchise. You know, there's world building in this series. They all take place in the same universe or the same world, sorry. But you don't need to play any of the past games to enjoy the next one. You just get a little bit more out of it from a lore and story perspective. But by and large, they are all very singular experiences that can be enjoyed on their own. And aside from that, you know, they have excellent gameplay. They're great action RPGs. They are super fun. You usually get a party of characters in the later games in the series, and you can switch between them, and they have like amazingly cool looking combos between them. And generally, specific types of characters are better against certain enemy types than others. So you're always kind of switching between characters as you go. And generally, you have a party of 3, and you can switch in and out with ease. And generally, you know, the stories are pretty good in the Ys games as well. So I'm just looking forward to going on a high-octane action RPG adventure this year with Adol Kristen, the red-headed lady killer protagonist that doesn't know how suave he is. Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Anyone who's watched this channel for a bit of time knows I'm a huge Mass Effect fan. It is my favorite Western RPG franchise and my favorite sci-fi franchise as well when it comes to games. And you know, I've already said so much, and I've already said so many times why I love Mass Effect, but I'll give a quick rundown. It has incredible characters, some of the best characters ever in an RPG. It has one of the best sci-fi settings ever realized for a video game as well. It has incredibly fun and deep third-person combat as well, with a variety of classes to choose from, with multiple different abilities, and that's not to mention, just how great its story is, the character development that's in the game, and it just looks incredible. And I can't wait to go back on an adventure with Commander Shepard and his amazing companions, and it'll be a good tide over to the hopefully not too far away, but probably is quite far away, Mass Effect 4. Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. I grew up playing Mario. I love the franchise. And Super Mario 3D World is one of those few games that allows for couch co-op for up to 4 people. And there's even online play now, so you can play it now even if you don't have someone in the house to play with. And the Mario games, are always incredible. Even if it's a bad 3D Mario game, it's still a lot better than a lot of other platformers out there. And Super Mario 3D World has, once again, great level design. It's fun gameplay. You get to play with a friend, actually. And, I've played the game twice already, and I'll be playing it for a third time with my wife. And honestly, I'm mostly excited for this game because I want her to play it. Because I want to see, the enjoyment in her eyes as she's going through this game for the first time. And anyone who likes a solid platformer and likes Mario games, I'm sure they've already played it. But if you're one of the many people who haven't played this game because you didn't own a Wii U, you gotta pick this game up. It's one of the best 3D Mario games ever made, and it's gonna be a good time. The Legend of Heroes Trails to Azure. So first things first, this game is not getting an official release this year. It is getting a fan translation patch. Most likely, they're almost done. They're at like 94%. So you can still purchase this game. You got to go through a few hoops to buy it for PC only at this point. But for me, this is highly anticipated because Trails from Zero released last year, and it's the first part of the duology of the Crossbell series. And this is the concluding game. And if it's as good, and I hear from, and from what I've read, it's even better, arguably, than the first game in the series, that's high praise, because Trails from Zero had great characters, it had a fantastic, self-contained story, it had fun, classic turn-based combat, and amazing music. And Trails to Azure is just more of that. And I get to spend more time with some characters I absolutely fell in love with in a setting that I loved a lot as well. So Trails to Azure It's a Legend of Heroes game. It's one of my most favorite RPG franchises of all time, and I can't wait to conclude this series and to have finally caught up, for the most part, in the Legend of Heroes series at large. Horizon Forbidden West. Horizon Zero Dawn, I bought at release, and then it sat in my cabinet probably for 4 to 6 months. And then eventually I hit a lull in my gaming calendar, and I, decided to play it. I can't believe I waited up to 6 months to play this game. It's one of the best open world experiences I ever had. The setting was super interesting, the story was great, the world building was incredible, and the combat and the skill trees and the hunting the robot animals or beasts in the game was absolutely thrilling. And Horizon Forbidden West is just, continuing on with that tradition. And, it looks incredible. We're going to a brand new area and discovering brand new facets of the world. And we're probably going to uncover a lot of the mysteries, or at least I'm hoping some of the mysteries that the first game left unresolved. So, I was pleasantly surprised by the first game, and Guerrilla Studios definitely proved they have what it takes to create a fantastic open world experience. And for anyone who hasn't played the original game, definitely check it out. It's firing on all cylinders at all times, and it's one of the PlayStation 4's best games. Bravely Default 2. I am chomping at the bit to play this game. As more and more time goes on, I'm getting more and more impatient to play it. This game, as they slowly drip out information, I'm just getting more and more excited for it. The job designs look amazing. It has, that classic turn-based combat that, a lot of us old RPG fans absolutely love and, by and large can't get enough of. And it's got, the same composer from Bravely Default is coming back, so we know it's going to have some incredible music. Even just the music in the trailer so far has sounded great. And the stories for the Bravely Default series haven't been that bad either. They've actually been, somewhat decent. They can stumble at parts, but I've always enjoyed them for the most part. And I'm really hoping the story delivers in this game as well. And while I have, had a little bit of problems sometimes with the art style, this is one of those games where it looks even better in movement. Screenshots of this game almost don't do it justice. Gameplay for this game and gameplay trailers, it just makes it look incredible. And the hand-drawn backdrops for some of the cities, for example, look great. Open world traversal looks awesome. Bravely Default, classic turn-based combat, an excellent job system with great looking character designs or job designs, sorry. And, a classic Final Fantasy tale in the making with hopefully some good twists and turns along the way. Can't wait. God of War Ragnarok. I was not expecting to enjoy, God of War a lot. I was thinking maybe it was going to be a good game because the, God of War 1, 2, and 3 for, the PlayStation 2 or PlayStation 3, I can't remember what console they were on. They were okay experiences. I didn't mind them. They were all right. Yeah, they were a good time. But, oh man, the direction they went with, God of War for the PS4, I totally didn't see it coming. They made Kratos a super two-dimensional character incredibly compelling. And obviously that has to do with the fact, he's a father figure now. He has a son, he has to navigate fatherhood, and it was awesome to behold. And not only did they do a good job with Kratos and the characters in that game, the setting was really interesting. I love Norse mythology. The combat was really fun. And graphically, it looked amazing. And the score was very well done as well. So God of War Ragnarok promises, more of that, and I'm fully on board. The game left off with a little bit of a cliffhanger, so obviously we're going to see that resolved. I'm assuming we're going to be able to travel to different realms this time too, because we only got to go to a handful of the 9 realms in the original game. But no, God of War Ragnarok, I'm looking forward to, more character development with Kratos and his son and see how they navigate, dealing with the Norse pantheon of gods. I'm looking forward to more of the great gameplay, seeing, more incredible looking vistas, because the realms that we did get to go to looked amazing. And I want to see more of them and of the ones we didn't get to go to in the first game. But no, God of War Ragnarok, easily one of my most anticipated games for 2021, because God of War for the PS4, I didn't see it coming. I didn't see it coming how good that game was going to be. But now that I know that they're capable of making such an excellent game, why wouldn't I be incredibly excited and hopeful for the sequel? And I have complete faith that they'll be able to deliver again. That's my list for my most anticipated games for 2021. Do you agree with any of my picks? Is there anything on my list that you would add or substitute out? Let me know in the comments. I'm always interested to hear people's opinions on their favorite games and why I should try them. So definitely fire away. Anyway, thanks for joining me for this Game Break, guys. I hope you have a lovely day. Take it easy.